Welcome to Roopa's 6 Questions for Authors. It's a real pleasure today to welcome Namratha Stanley to today's edition. Hi, Namratha.
Hi, Roopa. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
It's always a pleasure. So, Namratha Stanley is an author and an entrepreneur based in Bordeaux, France. She's a founder and CEO of Wine Equation, a merchant company, and she's the creator of the Solicantes wine brand. In addition, leading her business venture, she also serves as a program director to the business school INSEC. Her book, Vineyard Melody, has been described as a breathtaking tale of hope, survival, and transformation. We're going to have her talk to us about her book as well as her writing process today. I am Roopa Krishnan. I am a Chief Strategy and Innovation Officer by day, and now an author of business books and crime fiction the rest of the time. I was inspired by the questions I got from my audience in my book tours. And so this podcast is all about that intersection of analytical rigor and creative storytelling, especially for people who wear multiple hats the rest of their lives. So to start, tell us about your books, Namratha.
Roopa, I'm a first-time author, debut author, and I never thought I would write a book in my life, but here I am. My book, Vineyard Melody, talks about my journey of being an abused Indian housewife to moving to France and becoming a winemaker, wine merchant, launching my own brand of wine, and moving on to write the book and sign a film deal for the book.
Congrats.
So a lot of exciting things are happening, and all of this happened when I was really struggling to reunite with my young daughter in France. So it's a memoir of hope, transformation, and second chances.
And that's the book you see right there, Vineyard Melody.
Right, this is Vineyard Melody.
Thank you for that. And congratulations. I'm so happy to hear, there's there are multiple times we hear about, the redemption feels further away than possible. And I'm so glad that you got your way through to the end of that difficult time. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a crazy journey. And that's why I really thought I should put these memories and this crazy journey that I've had into words.
So let's start with that. I call it the origin spark. I get a sense of what yours was, but tell us about that first time while assuming this was during or maybe it was after you went through the experience, because every writer has that idea and that moment when they think, I have to write this down. What was that moment for you? When did you decide this has to become a book?
I remember that day very clearly because I was sitting with a cup of tea in my hand. It was about evening time. This was towards the end of 2019. And I was looking back at my life. I was here in France. I had left India in 2017. And I was sitting here in France, and I've had that difficult life in India as a housewife, 12 years of abuse, and then moving to this most bucolic vineyards of France, finding my feet in the vineyards, finding a lot of support, finding freedom, and learning about culture here, art. It's a completely different life that I was leading, and I kind of felt that the need to write. So in 2020, thanks to COVID, in a way, it gave me a lot of time because we were all confined, gave me time to really focus on writing that book. So I took about a couple of years to finish that. But finally, I'm here. The process has been great, and I'm very excited.
It's wonderful. Tell me about the process ritual. This is my second question of 6. What does writing really look like for you? I know that you talk about being in this bucolic environment. I'm in one right now this week, but you have people, especially those who are looking to make a break into writing, have this almost overwhelming sense of needing a schedule, put on your writing robe, sit down for 6 hours. What is the reality of writing? What is that process for you?
Ooh. My writing process has no process. So since I'm, mother of almost finishing teenager, now she's 19, but we've had our ups and downs over the years, and I was here really to handhold her through these years, through different, the different cultures and the exchange and everything. So it has been difficult giving time so much to writing now. But I've never had that process. I've always gotten back to the book when I do find time, from mothering, from being a businesswoman, from selling wine to figuring out book sales. I mean, there's so much happening, right? Life happens, and you have a career, and you have so many things going on around that. And when I do try and find time during the weekends, but I just start writing whenever I can find some time. So to be honest, I don't have a process.
Likewise, and I hope people take heart in that, right? Because you have to find a way. Life finds a way, writing finds a way, right?
Yeah, you just need to keep balancing everything. I also paint,
Right.
so I love art, and I tried. It's a bit like writing the book, because I write a little bit and I leave it. It could take 2 weeks to go back to the book. It could take a month to go back to the book, or a year.
Right.
And painting is almost the same thing for me, because I paint a little bit and then, I let it sit and seep into me and settle down. I look at it from time to time and I go back to it to finish it. So it's kind of, art, I would say.
I can understand. So you talk about sort of writing in between all of your other, duties or commitments, right? So, but what is, writing as well as the work lives in the same mind, right? So, what is that day job tension look like? Has writing taken things from your career arc, and on the same way, in the flip side, has your writing influenced how you work or how you think about your work? What is that tension like?
I think writing, Rupa, has given me so much, so many interesting perspectives, because selling wine, this is my brand of wine here, and selling this is also about storytelling. Stories with wines attract people, and stories, I mean, people love stories, and the winemakers behind and the team behind. So they want to know how the wine was made, why the wine was made, and they want to know the people behind it. So I think with the storytelling of the book, it also gave me an edge to, talk about, wrap a story around the wine, and um, sell it as a product, but not only as a product, but also have that depth that people could relate to or could get attached to. So writing the book has also given me the motivation to tell the story through wine, not only the book. So most of the people who have read the book, they always come back and tell me they love the book, and they always ask me, where can I find the wine?
So fabulous marketing, I'm sure, but I know that you told the story for another reason, right? Which takes us to the point when you have such a personal story you're telling. I wonder what your shelf test is, which is what I call, what is your sense of your metric for success, right? Because I think there are of course, people in your life who are literally counting the number of books sold, I'm sure, right? But for you personally, what is your metric, your personal measure of success? And has the book surprised you by doing better, differently?
It has, in a lot of ways, because I think personally, I don't measure. I know my publisher will, will be looking at this, but for her, it's sales. I know it's a business, but for me, personally, the success means people getting attached to the book and coming back to me and really opening up their own stories. It has happened a lot in the last 6 months. People have written to me. They have, I think, they have really confided in their own stories. They have they have kind of been intimate about your own experiences about abuse. And I think that what I learned from all of this is they need me to lend my ear and without any judgments. And that's what I do now. I don't give any advice or anything, but, I just accept and open up to what they've experienced. And usually it comes after reading the book because, there are some parts they relate to, there are some parts they want to keep, and some parts, they feel that, we've gone through the same thing.
Yeah.
So there are moments when I feel very privileged to have this speak into their lives. And unfortunately, it's terrible that abuse is still happening across the world, and people not only from India but all across the world reach out to me and open up their own stories.
Yeah.
And I think most of the people who have spoken to, they know what they have to do, but they just want that consolation of speaking to somebody. So my measurement of success is that, not the points on Amazon or Goodreads, not the sales, but the human connection that I'm gaining and having right now with so many readers, which is very rare.
No, and I used to be part of a group called Saki, an organization here in New York, and which fights against domestic violence and supports the survivors. And questions will normally get asked, why did she stay? And it's just one of those, it's hard to explain that even when logically there are sort of steps to be taken,
Absolutely.
there's a multiplicity of reasons or lack, or emotions and circumstances that may stay in the way, right? So sometimes you have to hear the story a few times.
I usually get this a lot. At least I used to before the book is out. Because why did you stay? Why, you had 12 years of abusive marriage, domestic violence, very violent. Why did you stay? I usually say this to people because it's a lot of emotional burden, and it's almost like you're in the middle of the ocean in a boat. It's dark, it's cold, it's scary, and if you rock the boat, if you're alone in the marriage, you fall in and you try to swim to the shore. But if you have a daughter too, then you both fall into the sea and you have to swim in the cold water. The chances are you're always scared whether you're going to make it. Are you going to find the shore? Are you going to make it? So that scare is always there, and there are a lot of people stay in difficult relationships because of that. They're not sure.
So empathy, that's what's needed. And thank you for sharing and listening to some of the survivors, maybe helping them along in their way, right? Um,
Privilege.
So I skipped this question that is normally question number 4, which I call the abandoned idea, right? I know this was a searing tale that you absolutely had to tell, but you're a fabulous writer. Is there another book that you've started maybe and haven't yet completed, or maybe put on hold? What is it? Is there?
Oh. So I loved writing. I loved the process so much, and it gave me so much confidence writing a Vineyard Melody. I started 3 books after. So I'm writing the sequel to a Vineyard Melody that's called A Melody of Love as of now. It's about my daughter moving to France and settling down as a teenager, trying to figure out school life, and me balancing her as a businesswoman and a new culture, new language for her. So the ups and downs what a mother and a teenager, a single mother and a teenager go through in a different country. It's quite exciting. It's interesting, especially because we are writing it together.
That's
Um,
fabulous. It's like the Gilmore Girls, but in a vineyard. How excellent.
Set in France, so yes, I'm quite excited about that. Shloka's doing a great job too. And the second book is about 5 women who move from India to who travel from India to Italy, and it's a rom-com kind of a fiction book, which I'm very happy writing about. It's all the happy times, and so that's the second book. And then the third one is about wine pairing with recipes, Indian recipes. So that's something that I'm working on. But now wine selling has taken precedence since the last few months. So I'm working tirelessly, relentlessly, trying to sell wine and get new markets.
Wonderful. Wow. I can't wait. All three sound fascinating.
Thank you, Rupa.
So as you do this, as you sort of craft your stories and you tell them, writers sometimes, I know I personally do, have what I call the necessary lie, right? There's something that you say to yourself to keep yourself going, or it's a belief about yourself or your process. It may not entirely be true, right? But it's a way of keeping yourself maybe motivated or sheltered. In my case, I tell myself my books are for everyone. Because if I started writing for a genre of reader, I think I wouldn't be doing my books justice, right? So I keep saying it's for everyone. Everyone should be reading it, and may or may not be true. What is yours? Do you have one?
Well, I think I always think I'm not a great writer, which I think once I released the book, I realized I read the pages back, and until the last minute that the book went out, I was quite nervous, especially because I'm putting my life out there. And most of the podcasts and everywhere, my life is out there. Everybody knows what's happened and what's happening. I mean, I'm out there. So I always really thought I was a bad writer. And even now, I feel that, I'm not good enough. And I feel that maybe that is wrong because maybe I am good enough. Maybe I should accept it that I'm writing three other books and, they will be good enough. So maybe, I don't know. It's a tough question. It's a very tricky question.
We can always come back and revisit once you've done book two, book three, and four, right? So, well, those are my six questions. I truly appreciate you taking the time. It's a fabulous story. It's a story of heart and guts, and I look forward to everything else you do, Namrata. And truly, it's a testament of strength. So, thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you so much, Rupa, and thank you for bringing your edge into this podcast. And it's fabulous that you've begun this podcast and bringing out authors, putting the stories out in the world. Thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you. And for the viewer and the listener, please find all the information on how to get Namrata's book, future books, down there. Please sign up and subscribe, and we'll be seeing you soon. Thank you.